Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, now that we've successfully navigated Cassia's issues, I guess we set our sights elsewhere. Though, as aforementioned, we have not yet unlocked paths to Frozen Prince or Emperor's Palm, the two sectors further into the Cauldron. Though it has also been implied to me by some folks that apparently these sectors might not unlock until after Inquisitor Kalkazar is done faffing about on Footfall. Which, just, based on process of elimination, is probably after we deal with Winterscale. So perhaps today we'll just start working our way over in that general direction, stopping periodically to investigate other potential points of interest, such as the Burning Worlds, all of which I note are now updated with investigation markers. So yeah, we'll just kind of feel things out, see where it takes us. Ultimately, I think our one real goal today, aside from just clearing various secondary objectives, is to at least end up in Quetzaltemir's orbit. Not sure if we'll actually be able to make landfall or not. I don't know how involved that whole thing is. But we'll at least end up there. Unless, I suppose, Solomorn's final quest stage fires. Also a possibility. Warp Storm. Either suffer damage or spend one navigator point to avoid. And we've got navigator points to spare, so I can't in good conscience sacrifice lives. Alright, let's see what's going on with this Burning World. Also, worth noting, there's apparently only 3 Burning Worlds in total. I've got to say, it really felt like there were more. Another Burning World. This time, the fire comes from within the planet. The perpetual volcanic activity, creating powerful cyclones of gases, ash clouds, and soot. Now that you know what to look for, your augurs easily locate traces of the mysterious underground constructions. The operation is difficult, but proceeds without a hitch. The machines make way to the unusual constructions and return, carrying priceless samples. Seemingly uninteresting, these plates and weaves of heat-resistant material cause great excitement amongst the tech priests. The explorers are convinced that you are holding the artifacts of a unique ancient Xeno civilization the crew is now calling the Builders from the Flame. These creatures were accustomed to the incredibly high temperatures of the Burning Worlds. They may have been a silicon-based life form or even sentient colonies of bacteria. More evidence is required if the research is to continue. Full stack of armor. Nice, that's 150 Drusian rep. I am also now intrigued as to what we might find on that final Burning World, which is just past Speculo, so we'll go ahead and route down towards Footfall. Grab this cache, check that world, and then bounce off Footfall back to Dargonis. Though I would also like to get this cleared up. We'll see if we can fit that in somewhere. Mysterious sickness. Just another day in the warp. And System Speculo. Let's see what we got. This, I believe, was the cache identified by the curio merchant. Which POI is this? Hold on. Abandoned Camp. which nets us fortification protocol. Upgrade for servo skulls, which we don't have. But we will take the cargo. Not particularly copious, but that's like half a stack of jewelry, a third of holy. The ship's augurs have detected an exploratory base set up in the middle of the jungle. Enforcers sent to scout the area have returned and are reporting that the camp is completely deserted, and the only tech priest they encountered was found dead on the edge of a strange abyss that had split the planet's surface. Judging by the notes left behind at the camp, he had pushed all of his companions into the abyss, one after another, and remained forever motionless at the brink, waiting for tidings. As the tech priest fell into a deathly trance, his servo skulls guarded him until the end, but could not save their master from dehydration. Oh, that's what that point of interest is. That's the research station on the edge of the infinite abyss. Wow, yeah, that was way back. I want to say that was over 100 episodes ago. I do love those encounters, though. Those tend to be some of my favorite parts of this game. Just the vertical slices of the general weirdness of the Warhammer 40k universe. It's funny because one of the main reasons I bounced off the setting so much over the years is because so much of it tends to focus on Space Marines, which I personally find to be the least interesting part of the setting. You know, it's all this other stuff that really gets me invested. Though for what it's worth, I do actually like Ulfar. But he's also, from what I understand, pretty atypical for a Space Marine. The Space Wolves in general, I think, are supposed to be one of the more esoteric chapters. Anyway, let's go hit that last burning world. Anatomical Orchestra. Another day in the warp. Dargonus event, which does work out for us. We're headed back there soon. Oh, good. Another Purge sequel. Yeah, that franchise definitely isn't played out. Burn Scar Riding. Relatively tame as far as warp events go. Oh, Warp Reef. I am tempted to go for it. That is one of the ways you can replenish navigator points, but relying on cast to pass a warp lore check, not the best move. And we really don't need the points. But we will take the XP. Alright, let's finally answer the burning question. Yet another world is burning before your eyes. It is covered in geysers, belching forth clouds of incendiary gas, feeding a massive conflagration enveloping the planet. Thousands of years ago, a single flash of lightning or some other spark launched a chain reaction that transformed the world into a blistering inferno. Now that you know what to look for, your augurs easily locate the traces of the mysterious underground constructions. Again, the meticulous work of the tech priests and archivists is taking forever. Even your astropathic choirmaster joins the effort, spending long hours in a trance and relaying messages to those who can help. But when the results come, it is astounding. It looks like the builders from the Flame used hereditary bacterial structures to record information. The artifacts you discovered on the Burning Worlds contained colonies of bacteria whose genes carried the messages of the Xenos across generations. Their language, however, bears a passing semblance to some of the ancient samples already available to your scientists. they managed to make a crude translation of some of those records. They revealed that the builders from the flame were not originally colonizing the burning worlds. Their homeland was not a planet, but a star. It is hard to imagine what the creatures that evolved in the burning ocean of a faraway sun may have looked like, but one day their peaceful existence came to an end. The records contain a chilling legend about some cosmic horror that arrived and devoured the sun that the builders called home. Fearing the monster, they fled and no longer dared to settle on stars. Possibly Drukhari? They do like to steal suns. The builders considered burning worlds as the most fit for habitation, yet they went extinct shortly after the Exodus, perhaps unable to adapt to the harsh realities of life outside their stellar home. Their civilization left a wealth of unique technologies and heat-resistant materials. And now this treasure belongs to the Von Valancius dynasty, which nets armor, ship components, Xeno artifacts, sadly useless to us, and +3 profit factor, also arguably useless to us, but we'll take it. Is this the corrupted tech priest ship? One sec, let me get a peek. Hey, we're back. And yes, that was indeed the corrupted tech priest ship, which we did already clear out, but I will also stress did in fact have a couple of new items in it. Sadly, nothing super useful to us, but I assume it's from the new DLC or associated patches, and does give us a good excuse to revisit some of the other various POIs. And then aside from that, I also cashed in our latest batch of cargo, which gave us one more rank with the Drusians, but much more notably, also capped us out with Explorators. Which means that we now have the ultimate endgame flamer. And my goodness, compared to the one that Ulfar's currently rocking, it is a huge, almost comical step up. I do look forward to actually trying this thing out, though that's apt to be a while. Probably not until we locate whatever planet his missing pack is on. And then beyond that, I did also jump us the rest of the way to Footfall, which is where these 3 items came from. Again, new items hidden on an already cleared POI. Still nothing useful, but again, definitely a ringing endorsement to revisit other POIs, which I am tempted to do now, but I'll hold off on. I think that's best left for between episode bookkeeping. Especially since most of this stuff generally seems to be, scaled for Act 2. Not super useful for this late into the campaign. That said, let's hop back to Dargonis. Keep this ball rolling. Oh, something new. A scheduled service in the ship's chapel was interrupted in the most profane manner. The images of saints and martyrs depicted on the altarpiece started to move and stepped down from the canvas. The congregation was filled with terror, and dozens perished in the stampede. The illusion disappeared on its own, but it claimed several priests and altar attendants. It is said their frenzied shrieks can still be heard, echoing under the vaults of the chapel during prayer. Pretty creepy. Let's go put a stop to this purge, I assume. I mean, I can't imagine Val would... Well, we've seen some pretty crazy shit on Dargonis, so I guess it really depends on what they're purging. The planetary authorities have begun a rigorous purge of dissidents, mutants, and apostates. The spree of arrests and executions has the people terrified. So it does sound like it's not just a crackdown for the sake of cracking down. At this point, Dargonis has had infestations of chaos cultists, gene stealers, We had a full-blown Drukhari invasion. And given our options here, it does seem like inspiration is the way to go. Upon seeing the planetary authorities, not as tyrants, but as wise protectors, the commoners will be delivered from their fear and charged to help the keepers of law and order in their cause of cleansing this world. Not, of course, that we really needed the colony stats, but never hurts to have a buffer, especially with 2 more DLC coming down the line. That said, with the Dargona situation officially taken care of, let's figure out our next move. We've got a new colony event in Foulstone, logistical error. Plus, of course, the thing on Kiava Gamma, unvanquished tech heresy. But they're not going anywhere, so I think instead we'll go after something slightly more elusive. See if we can finally get this guy off the table. This will be our 3rd time going up against him. Illusion of rotting food. We've seen that one. We've never burned our food supplies before, but we already know that there's no point in actually doing it, since it's not actually bad. But again, we'll take the XP. And once more, let's go contempt fate. Let me just spot check our ship real quick. Yeah, we're good. The elusive Contempt's captain contacts you. You can hear notes of disdain and mockery in his voice. Playtime is over, and he's sure he's going to come out on top. After the rogue trader's death, the Von Valancius Protectorate will become his playground, where he'll claim plenty of booty before someone dares hunt him again. The bridge officers report. The elusive Contempt is preparing for battle. Ah, I see you've chosen death. Yeah, I mean, rule of 3s. It makes sense this would be our final confrontation. Let's hope we can at least put up a halfway decent fight. Couple of corvettes. Oh, okay, well, perhaps I spoke too soon. Not gonna lie, that is actually slightly daunting. Alright, well, I'm certainly not flying right into their kill zone. So let's focus left, trim the edges, see if we can buy sword at least a round or 2 before it inevitably explodes. We'll also spam torps. Should hopefully draw off an attack or 2.
Keep up the pressure.
Hey, there we go. Cobra 1 out. Let's ding up Cobra 2. Don't think we can actually take it out, but hopefully we can at least put it within kill range of one of our escorts. Shoot. Jump. Yeah, that's not going to do it. All right, let's push the big guy off. Oh, actually. I mean, it's not much, but we'll certainly take it. Shields holding. Heartless is holding. Sword into the fray. Oh, gosh. Sorry, guys. I tried. I really did. They've really got to give you options to upgrade that poor escort ship. At least give them shields or something. My goodness. But better them than us, I suppose. And Heartless still in. Good for them. What have we got going on here? Explosive Nebula. I've got to say, Cobra 2, that is a bold strategy you are employing. Let's see how that works out for you. Well, they exploded. Who could have possibly seen that coming?
With the force of a supernova!
And Cobra 3 is not far behind. Bootleg reverse, bring the lance to bear. Also puts more distance between us and the Contempt. Though it does mean the Heartless will have to take the brunt for another round. I'm sure they'll be fine. Which is more than I can say for Cobra 3. Drop torps.
Let the void sort them out.
Though I do notice they still got the same weird initiative glitch. Yeah, that's a weird one, because, like, it doesn't skip their turn, it just puts them at the bottom of the initiative order the first turn after they're deployed. But then they go at the top of the next round, so they essentially get to go twice, right in a row. You just have to wait a while before it actually happens. Though, I mean, they also still serve as decent distractions. Come on, Heartless, you've got this. Hey, okay. Heartless still pumping. Though we have probably pushed them to their limits, we'd best get in there. Still, though, nice to have an escort that can actually keep pace. At least for a while. I still like the sword, too. You know, it's another body on the battlefield. They've just really kind of lost their edge. Drop torps, and...
Keep up the pressure.
full bore on the Contempt.
Last batteries, volley!
Veer off. Actually, hey, okay, I'll take it. Honestly, I was mainly doing that because it was easier to present shields broadside, but I will 1,000,000% take the win. Oh, well, once we've dealt with Cobra 4 anyway. I see you over there. And Heartless, still in? Good for them. Yeah, the fact they can launch fighters is definitely a bit of a game changer too. Not only are they tougher than the sword, but they also put additional targets on the field, on top of the torpedoes I was already spamming everywhere. Which, you know, draws off a lot of attacks you'd otherwise be eating. And we're good. Which nets us a boatload of Void Pirate trophies, which are sadly completely useless to us these days. But we can make use of the scrap and the XP. Plus, hopefully... yes, additional salvage. Just cargo, but you know what? We will also take that. We don't need the range weapons, but we do need the ship components and provisions. One more thing marked off the old to-do list. Let's push on. Though, with that in mind, I do think we've spent enough time for one day on secondary objectives, so let's go ahead and reorient ourselves. Let's head back to Dargonis, and then from there we'll forge a new route to the Nameless Star. We've got a Mountain of Madness to winter scale. Tentacle growth. Pretty much a no-win for the poor guys involved, so... sorry, guys. Let me get that patched real quick. And Nameless Star. Something to root for. Honestly, beyond that and the cauldron over there, we don't really have a ton left. We've got a few things up north. We've got the colony projects. That's pretty much it. I am starting to think we might wrap this by episode 200. Give or take a few bonus episodes for when those new DLC drop next year. Those will probably be like relatively self-contained little mini-series, you know, just sort of retroactively inserted. Kind of the way we approached the Cult of Holy Detonation for Wasteland 3. Janus event, of course. Nah, it's fine. We'll get it taken care of. I will say, though, I am surprised that Solomorn's final quest arc hasn't triggered yet. Figured it would happen while we were hopping around.
Permission to speak, Lord Captain. The Augur crew has registered activity in the orbit of Trimmier, one of the worlds of the Winterscale dynasty. According to the report, the Emperor's Vow, the flagship of rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, is positioned over the southern hemisphere.
Vigdis's report is suddenly interrupted by Adira's anxious voice. Lord Captain, this is it, right here, so very close. The quiet whispers, they won't stop. They keep buzzing in both my ears that my little door is somewhere on this world. Really? Here? That seems awfully convenient. You're sure about that? Yes, it's the door for my visions. The one I told you about, remember? Nothing major, just my last hope for salvation. Okay, well, I mean, we'll definitely look into it. Just maybe hold out for a little longer. I've got a few other things on my plate here. Of course, Lord Captain. I dare not interrupt you any longer. After a brief hesitation, Vigdis's voice comes through the hissing of static once more.
Allow me to repeat, Lord Captain. The Emperor's Vow, the flagship of rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, has been detected in the orbit of Trimmier, one of the Winterscale worlds. What are your orders?
That's all you had to say? It sounded like you had more before Adira jumped in.
No, of course not.
Vigdis's vox crackles nervously.
The officers are about to extend the range of the wave emitters.
In minor turn of the chrono, the Voxmaster reports again.
Lord Captain, the data has been updated. Trimmer's largest continent suffered from a moderate Xenos planetary invasion. We also discovered the wreckage of several Eldari vessels in the periphery of the system. Another vessel crashed onto the world, causing minor seismic activity. A dozen shuttles of the Winterscale dynasty are patrolling the space, directly above the crash site.
I presume the Xenos hunt is in full swing, and the hunter has already caught the scent of its prey.
Throne, take me. Beg your forgiveness, Lord Captain. The Emperor's Vow has detected the empowered emanations of our augurs, and is requesting permission to initiate box transfer. What would you have us do?
Stall them. What do we have in our librarium about the Emperor's Vow? For a while, the box broadcast only the clicking of Vigdis's metallic manipulators.
The Emperor's Vow is a cruiser carrying up to 120,000 crew. Length overall, 6,000 meters. Beam, 1,000 meters. Estimated time of service in the Winterscale Dynasty fleet, several millennia. It is known for a fact that the ship has undergone many modifications, including the replacement of macro weapons for long-range laser batteries and short-range macro batteries. And I am afraid that this is all we know, Lord Captain.
Incredibly ancient, incredibly complex, incredibly unpredictable, and extremely demanding when it comes to resources? Had I been one of the highborn, though unofficial, rulers of the Expanse, I would have definitely chosen this void ship for myself. The Librarium of House Orselio also held records on the Emperor's Vow. Its most famous owner, to be precise, Sebastian Winterscale, a fledgling rogue trader of great promise. It is not known how Sebastian acquired this ship, but Lord Captain Winterscale used it to traverse the Maw and find a new home in the Coronis Expanse. Understood. All right, Vigdis, go ahead and accept that hail. Let's see what they want.
It will be done.
By the grace of the machine spirits, the air gradually fills with discordant noises, until the Voxmaster flips the last tumbler on the Cogitator's panel.
The Emperor's Vow sends its greetings to the glorious ruler of the Von Valancius dynasty. This is Urbit Dave, His Lordship Caligos Winterscale's Voxmaster, who has the honor of speaking on behalf of his lord today.
The booming voice fills the air, startling a few officers on the bridge. However, you feel that Urbit Dave's ostentatiously confident tone is meant to hide his concern. Right, you can drop the act, Dave. It's obvious something's wrong. You want to fill me in, or should I just go down and find out myself?
By the gold of the throne, the scions of Von Valancius are shrewd to a man.
The Voxmaster loudly clears his throat, looking for the right words.
You see, the Lord Captain had yet another heated argument with the esteemed Incendia Corda, and he had a very good reason for his displeasure. I dare not discuss his lordship's affairs, but I can divulge that we set out to protect the dynasty's rightful domain from the invasion of the profane Xenos. This is how we arrived here, at Trimmier. There is no better hunting ground when you need the cool off your head, I believe the Lord Captain said. We easily crushed the pathetic mockery of a fleet that was laying siege to the unfortunate world. Of course, most of the Xenos fled, but we did reduce a few of their ships to chum for the void beasts.
The Voxmaster laughs cruelly. An Aeldari fleet. That means there are many more Crutorok survivors than I dared hope. A secondary Vox channel transmits Yurliet's voice, laden with desperation. Alentak, I must go to this planet. To find them. To try to save them. Yeah, that is part of why we're here, Yurliet. Just hang back, okay? I've got this. Yurliet breathes out almost inaudibly, and her shoulders relax. And I am grateful to you, Alentak. Well, Dave, that would seem to put us at a bit of an impasse, because it turns out I'm here to rescue the Aeldari your Lord Captain is hunting, is what I'd say if I didn't think that would immediately trigger a fight. So, you know what? I'm actually here to investigate the situation. I don't suppose you'd like to fill me in.
You see, your lordship, one of the Aeldari ships crashed on Trimmier, so the Lord Captain chose to descend and finish off the elusive prey. But he has not been able to find his way out of the local woods for over 30 days now. And this concerns me greatly. Anticipating the next question, your lordship, no, I'm confident the Lord Captain is still alive. His body and spirit do not break easily, And besides, he's accompanied by Wharton the Grey, who would sell his soul if that helped to keep the Lord Captain out of harm's way.
May Asurion protect his children. We must halt the frenzy of your stellar rival, Elentek, or else, by Isha's tears, his subjects will not escape retribution. Alright, Yurliot, take it down a notch. This isn't the time to be tossing around ultimatums. I'm working on it. Well, hurry up, Elentek, before there is nothing left to decide. Look, how is it possible that you've somehow lost your Lord Captain for almost a month cycle?
Things are not so simple, your lordship. The Lord Captain last contacted me from the landing point currently right under the Vow's belly. We lost about a dozen shuttles and several hundred scouts in the first days of the search, all of whom went down to Trimmier and never came back. Our shuttles are relentlessly sweeping the airspace where our people perished. This way, we were able to reduce the search area to just a few thousand kilometers, which still does not change the fact that people in the thicket are disappearing without a trace. And something is jamming the Vox transmissions.
Eldari guerrilla tactics, perhaps? Simplest explanation. Who else is down there with him? I assume it's more than just Wharton the Grey?
A full hunting party consisting of 100 hand-picked enforcers, and his lordship's personal retinue, naturally.
So, just to be absolutely clear here, you are asking me for help?
A generous favor in return for a generous favor. Find Lord Captain Winterscale on Trimmier and bring him back to the Emperor's Vow. I swear by the Golden Throne that I will convince him to side with you in any conflict that occurs in the next 100 years. After all, I am allowed to make deals on the Lord Captain's behalf while he remains unavailable.
That proposal sounds acceptable, assuming he actually holds to it. Let's hope for both your sakes that he does. Sit tight and stay out of the way. I'll go fetch your Lord Captain.
Your Lordship, I bow before your courage on behalf of the Winterscale dynasty. The data transfer decree has been signed. My crew will send you the landing coordinates. The God Emperor's grace shine upon you for many years to come.
Yeah, let's hope. The Voxmaster's thundering voice falls silent, and the machine spirits terminate the connection between the flagship of two great dynasties. Okay, so we now have some general idea of what's going on. Also, this is the same sector that the ancient bunker was on. That's the one that was full of poison gas, the world set to civil war, seemingly just for Caligos's amusement. Bit of a recurring trend, it would seem. Sadly, I don't think we actually have time to make landfall today. That might also trigger an extended event of some sort. So best we hold off, I think. Well, I mean, really. We really are getting down to the last few quests, aren't we? The end of the campaign is starting to loom on that distant horizon. Still a ways to go, but we're getting there. And I am curious to see how it all ends. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. We'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping. Probably pop down to the ancient bunker off-screen just to see if there is, in fact, anything new down there, even if it's just some loot items. And we will pick up here next time. As where Callie goes, we will follow. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you can even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Keep up the pressure.